It can be pretty scary and defeating to get some lab results back and learn you have high cholesterol. I know this firsthand. Despite having a doctorate in nutrition, this is the news I received about 6 months ago. And as someone that exercises consistently and eats pretty well, I was shocked. However, through the right strategy, with some diet and lifestyle changes, I was able to bring my LDL cholesterol back into a healthy range, which is why today I'm going to share with you the 8 best foods to lower your cholesterol levels. Let's start with number 8, whey protein. When you think about whey protein, you probably think about muscle building and not heart health. But there's more to a scoop of protein than you think. Whey protein can be found in most dairy products as well as in supplemental form. Remember Miss Muffet, who sat on her tuffet, eating her curds in whey? Now we all know that whey protein can help us build muscle by increasing our total protein intake. But studies have also shown that whey protein can reduce LDL and total cholesterol as well as reduce blood pressure. To see the best improvements in heart health, many experts recommend adding in around 55 grams of whey protein per day. And the best part about this is adding in whey protein can be easy, although interestingly enough, most of the whey protein has been strained out of Greek yogurt. Or more commonly, you can supplement whey protein by consuming more whey protein powder or bars or shake. Now let's move on to our next food, number 7, almonds. Almonds are high in monounsaturated fats. What makes this important is that monounsaturated fats are more easily cleared from your bloodstream as compared to saturated fat. And in general, they have less of an inflammatory effect as well. The best way to add more almonds into your diet is to replace foods and snacks that are high in saturated fat like red meat, butter, and cheese. You can do that by swapping those out for more almonds or nuts and seeds. Now, it's important to note, although almonds are healthy for you and your heart, you can't just eat as much of them as you want because they are high in calories and those calories do add up. Watch the portion sizes of these snacks because at the end of the day, maintaining a healthy body weight is going to be important for your cholesterol level. So you can't just eat as much of these foods as you want, like almonds, because it will drive the calories up and make it more likely that you gain weight. Now let's move on to our next cholesterol lowering food, which is going to be number 6, legumes. Legumes like beans, peas, and lentils all contain fiber, especially soluble fiber, which can be very effective at lowering cholesterol. Eating foods high in soluble fiber do 2 things. Number 1, reduces the insulin response to your meals, which means your liver will produce less cholesterol. And number 2, it clears out the bile acids from your digestive system, which are then replaced by removing cholesterol from your blood and using that cholesterol to reform new acids. So legumes are great to add into your diet if you're looking to lower your cholesterol. They're also quite versatile and can be added into a variety of dishes and recipes. Now, as I spoke about before, 6 months ago, I was in a situation where I got some blood results back and I had high cholesterol. The problematic aspect about this situation for both myself, but also my nutrition clients, is that most of the advice is targeted around what you shouldn't be eating, what you should eliminate, and what you should avoid altogether. So although it can be smart to limit saturated fat, and red meat and eggs, sometimes it doesn't give you much direction on what you should be including and what you should eat more of, which is why I enjoy lists like this a lot, is because we can focus on eating more foods to actually lower our cholesterol, not just minimizing what we shouldn't be eating. In my experience, working in more legumes, especially chickpea and lentil pasta, is one of the smartest things you can do because you still get to eat food that tastes good while increasing your protein levels. A serving of those pastas typically has around 25 grams of protein, so you don't need to reduce that. Now let's move on to food number 5, which is edamame. Edamame lowers cholesterol because of the high isoflavone content in soy-based foods. Isoflavones are chemical compounds within soy foods that have a very strong antioxidant effect. Not only that, but edamame also has soluble fiber, which is going to lower your cholesterol as well. You can easily start adding in edamame to your diet by eating on its own, but also adding it to rice or a salad topping. There are tons of recipes online that use edamame, so the options are endless, as well as it's a very good appetizer in restaurants because you can easily snack on them, and the market has also recognized this by creating a bunch of edamame-based snack foods. The next food that will help to lower your cholesterol is number 4, broccoli. Broccoli is our next cholesterol-lowering superfood because it contains something called a plant sterol. Plant sterols are compounds found in a variety of foods like whole grains, legumes, vegetable oils, apples, as well as broccoli. To get sciencey for a second, plant sterols or stanols have a very similar molecular structure to the cholesterol that our liver produces. That, when overproduced, can lead to high levels of cholesterol and an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. They're thought to work by reducing the absorption of cholesterol in the gut, so more of it is turned to waste. In fact, when you get enough sterols or stanols in your diet, it's been shown to reduce your LDL cholesterol by around 14% and total cholesterol by around 10%. Outside of whole foods, there are many foods that have been fortified with sterols or stanols, like orange juice or margarine. Personally, I wouldn't go out of my way just to include these foods for that, even though research has shown by adding 2 grams of cereals to your diet every day, you can reduce your LDL cholesterol by 5 to 15%. So for me and my nutrition clients, I would always try to do this by including more whole foods, even if the effect isn't quite the same. But you can get many health benefits, including lowering cholesterol, by just including more broccoli in your meals or eating it raw. Now let's move on to food number 3, which is salmon. Salmon and other fatty fish like tuna and trout include many heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids. Now the jury is still out on whether fatty fish on its own decreases your cholesterol, but you will lower your cholesterol by reducing your meat consumption, which is going to have high levels of saturated fat, especially some of those fattier cuts of meat, by just replacing it with salmon or other fish. Think about it this way: if you're currently eating meat 5 nights out of the week, keeping meat in for 3 of those nights and replacing it twice with salmon will lower the amount of saturated fat that you are taking in and still getting similar levels of protein while adding in some of those heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids. If you don't enjoy eating fish or like the taste of salmon, you could always add in a fish oil supplement, although the jury is also out if this is going to independently lower your cholesterol. Let's move on to our next cholesterol lowering food, which is going to be number 2, oats. Oats are a great source of soluble fiber and very easy to work into any cholesterol lowering diet, especially since we haven't covered many breakfast foods yet. Like we mentioned earlier, foods that contain high levels of soluble fiber are effective at lowering cholesterol because it helps to reduce the insulin response at meals as well as removes cholesterol from the body. If you watched my channel before, you know that recently I was diagnosed with higher levels of cholesterol, but I was able to reduce it in around 4 months. And one of the big changes I made was eating oatmeal for breakfast every single day. I've also recently come across some viral videos calling oatmeal peasant food, but don't listen to it, eat your oatmeal. Sure, oats are quite affordable or inexpensive, but they can be worked into countless recipes like oatmeal and hot oatmeal, obviously, but also smoothies and pancakes and overnight oats. Now let's move on to our last cholesterol lowering food, which is going to be number 1, the apple. Apples and other foods like grapes and citrus foods contain something called pectin, which is a type of soluble fiber which is going to reduce LDL cholesterol like we talked about earlier. And beyond that, apples can be really low in calories given their food weight, and adding in more low calorie foods is an easy way to manage your total body weight, which is important because weight loss is a very effective way at lowering your cholesterol, as well as blood triglyceride levels and the risk of insulin resistance. Of course, apples can be enjoyed on their own as a snack, but they can also be worked into dishes like oatmeal or cereal for double cholesterol lowering effects. So there you have it, folks. Those are 8 foods to add into your diet to lower your blood cholesterol. As you can see from this list, there are many foods that you can choose from that taste great that will also help you lower your cholesterol. Now, if you know someone that would benefit from seeing this video, this information and knowledge was meant to be shared, so feel free to pass it along. Recently, I lowered my LDL cholesterol by 30% in just 4 months, and I'm going to show you how I did it step by step. Can't wait to see you in there. Check out the next video.